Olympic Games. The same commitment we see on the Japanese side with the Japanese government, the organizing committee, and the Japanese Olympic Committee. The organization of Olympic and Paralympic Games as such is already an extremely complex challenge. But this complexity is multiplied when it comes to organize postponed Olympic Games for the first time ever, and this under the conditions of a pandemic. So there is no blueprint for this, and we are learning every day. This fight against the virus, as you all know from your personal circumstances, this fight against the virus is a tough one. But we are fighting this fight for and like Olympic athletes. This means with full determination, with a will to win, with hard work every day, and with all the physical and mental strength we can have. There, if we have to address the different issues, nobody at this moment can predict the health situation in 206 national Olympic committees for the time of the Olympic and Paralympic Games from late July until September this year. Not even the most prominent scientists in this area. This leads, you may say naturally, but it leads, you can also say unfortunately, you could say of course, this leads to many speculations. But all these speculations are hurting the athletes in their preparations who have already to overcome the challenges in their daily training and competition with all the restrictions they are facing either in their country or when it comes to traveling. So there is a speculation about cancellation, about a plan B, about everything. Some even make the proposal to postpone the Olympic Games in Tokyo to the year 2032. I want to say good luck if you would have to discuss this with an athlete who is preparing for the Olympic Games 2021. There are some proposals to move it to another city, which everybody who knows about the complexity of Olympic Games is not possible there in such a short period of time. So for all these reasons, we are not losing our time and energy on speculations, but we are fully concentrating on the opening ceremony on the 23rd of July this year. So we are not speculating of whether the games are taking place. We are working on how the games will take place. That means we have to put COVID countermeasures together for every possible scenario. And in this, we are relying on the advice of all the different authorities, the Japanese government, the health authorities, the World Health Organization. We are talking with the manufacturers of vaccines, with all the experts. And also from these consultations, we can conclude that it is too early to tell which of the many COVID countermeasures will finally be the appropriate one when it comes to the time of the games. There, we just have to ask for patience and understanding and we're asking for these patients, from the athletes, from the National Olympic Committees, the IFs, the Japanese people, the organizing committee, everybody. We have to be patient and diligent at the same way. So soon we will be able now to release the first version of the so-called playbooks for the games, which will explain the measures for the different stakeholder groups to protect themselves and to protect others. These playbooks will be first, and the first version will be presented to the National Olympic Committees and to the chef de missions in beginning of February. So there, they all, the NOCs, the athletes, everybody can trust that we are providing the facts and our planned countermeasures as the situation develops and according to the situation what is needed. There, the priority is always the same: safe and secure games, thereby by everybody. And in this, we are gaining, even more confidence from the effectiveness of the countermeasures which are being applied right now at sports events across the world. We have seen this during the winter season. More than 7,000 events have been organized by the international federations, with 175,000 COVID tests, and only 0.18 were positive. The competitions could be run, could be organized, and none of the competitions, developed into a hotspot or anything like this. We see also many summer sports already back with competitions and with the same results, with the same care for safety of everybody involved. And this is why we are so confident. We also discussed Beijing 2022. There is the 1 year to go on the 4th of February. There we can say, even 1 year before, all the venues are ready. The technical preparations are excellent, and China, as you know, is taking very strict measures and restrictions right now. Also with regard to the participation in the test events. And we welcome and support this attitude, because we see everywhere in the world that strict countermeasures and that different forms of lockdowns lead to results, and they're successful measures to bring the infections and the number of infections down now at this time, so we can even be more confident and optimistic than for springtime, and not to speak even for summertime when it's about the games. In this context of taking strict measures, and the strictest possible measures right now, we have also decided today that we will hold the IOC session, which is planned from the 10th to 12th of March, as a virtual session. And that at the same time, we have decided that the Executive Board will propose to this virtual session in March to hold the IOC session 2025 in Athens, Greece, where the session in March was planned. And there I would like to thank very much our Greek partners and friends, in particular the Hellenic Olympic Committee for their understanding and for the great work they have already been doing for the preparation of this session. We had also to address the very sad stories with regard to two international federations again. This concerns AIBA. There we are still very much concerned about the lack of progress in AIBA with regard to the requested reforms of management, of governance, and also of refereeing and other issues. And we will inform AIBA about these concerns immediately. With regard to the international weightlifting federations, our again great concerns are about the apparent weakening of their anti-doping rules and about also other governance issues. But concentrating on the anti-doping rules, we had to note that obviously IWF wants to change the anti-doping rules, which were the basis for the approval of the IOC for their qualification system. And this is really something upsetting, and even more so that all this happened without any consultation with the IOC. There we will request a clear explanation and have already put this topic then on the agenda of the next executive board meeting, which will take place in February. On the more positive side, we have received the information from CONI about and from the Italian government about the decree which was passed by the Council of Ministers. They're addressing our concerns about the autonomy of CONI and about the role of CONI. And as a result, we are very satisfied with this decree and have closed the CONI case. Finally, we have addressed again our sustainability policies, and as you know, the IOC is already a carbon neutral organization. Now, today, we have decided to make another major step forward by aligning the IOC with the Paris Agreement on climate change, and by setting a target to reduce our direct and indirect greenhouse gas emissions by 45% by 2030. As an ambitious, more immediate target, we have established 30% to be achieved by 2024. This means the IOC will be climate positive by 2024. In other words, the IOC will be removing more carbon from the atmosphere than it emits. In addition to reducing our emissions, we will offset more than 100% of our remaining carbon emissions. This will mainly be done through the Olympic Forest Project, which is a part of the UN-backed Great Green Wall initiative to combat desertification in Africa's Sahel region. That as a summary of our meeting here today, and of course now I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, President. If I could just remind everyone, we have a number of people wanting questions already, but you have to click on the hand on the right and then send a request through. So let's go first to Carlos Groman from Reuters. Over to you, Carlos, for your first question.
Good afternoon, Mark. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Can you hear me?
Yes, hear and see you.
Hello? Yeah, good. A question on the vaccines. You said these are part of your toolbox for the Olympics. We know that you've contacted the NOCs and asked them to get in touch with the governments to see what the situation is. We've seen now that some countries will start in April with the vaccinations. Some have already started, like Israel. Do you think there should be a unified process in this? Or are you afraid of any social backlash if societies see athletes taking vaccines ahead of vulnerable groups within society? Thank you.
To answer your last point directly, Carlos, we always have made it clear that we are not in favor of athletes jumping the queue. This we said already I think in November last year. That in the first lines must be the high-risk group, the health care workers, and the people who keep our society alive. That is the first priority, and this is a principle we have established. With regard to harmonization, of course, it would be fantastic if a pandemic, which by definition is worldwide, would have a worldwide response and a worldwide harmonized response. But we have there to face the realities, and the reality is that it is up to each government there to decide about the vaccination, about access to vaccination in their respective countries. And this is why we have asked the National Olympic Committees to get in the touch with their respective government and to discuss and see at what time it is appropriate for this particular country to give athletes access to vaccination, respecting the priority I just mentioned.
This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the primary audio circuit for the Reuters live service.
Good afternoon, thanks for joining us. When we look at the toll of this pandemic, it must be measured not only in the tragic loss of life that we've endured with over 100,000 deaths, and once again, I offer my condolences to the families of friends of everybody who's lost loved ones. But I'm afraid we must also remember not just the damage to the economy, but the lost weeks and months of education and the real risk of damage to the prospects of our young people. And so I share very much the frustration of pupils and teachers who today want nothing more than to get back to the classroom. And I understand the stress and the anxieties of parents coping heroically with the pressures of homeschooling. And I know that everybody across the country wants us to get schools open as fast as possible, and I can assure you that is the ambition of this government. But I also know, we all know, that with 37,000 people in hospital suffering from COVID and the infection rate still forbiddingly high, we all must be cautious, and we all want only to open schools when we can be sure that this will not cause another huge surge in the disease. Because the problem is not that schools are unsafe. Teachers and head teachers have worked heroically to make sure that they are safe, they are COVID secure. The problem is that, by definition, schools bring many households together, and that contributes to the spread of the virus within the community and drives up the R. And so it follows that if we're to get schools open and keep them open, which is what we all want, then we need to be clear about certain things. We need to be sure that the vaccine rollout is continuing to be successful, as it is. And most important, we need to see the impact of our vaccines on those graphs of mortality. We need to see that they really are saving lives and preventing people from becoming seriously ill. Now, we're confident that that will happen, and that the vaccines will have that effect. But to be responsible, we must see the proof. And our current estimates say that the proof will only become visible in the middle of February. And since we need to give schools 2 weeks' notice to reopen, it is sensible now to serve notice that we will not be able to reopen schools immediately after half-term on February the 22nd. But if we continue to make the progress that we want to see and that we believe we can see, then we hope to begin opening schools on Monday, March the 8th. And to help parents and teachers with this extended period of remote learning, we will extend the arrangements for providing free school meals for those eligible children not in school, including food parcels and the national voucher scheme, until those pupils have returned to the classroom. And as we did this financial year, we will provide a catch-up programme over the next financial year with a further £300 million of new money to schools for tutoring. And we'll work with the education sector to develop, wherever appropriate, specific initiatives for summer schools, as well as a COVID premium for catch-up and support pupils to catch up. We will work with parents, teachers and schools to develop a long